Good morning. Today, before we begin our flow, I'm going to talk a little bit about a particular breathing exercise that high anxiety these days, just because of what's going on in the world. This particular breathing practice also helps me at other times. I shorten it again intentionally. So to begin the mountain breath, you just want to count your breath to see how many counts your breath has. It doesn't have to be any particular number of counts. It can start with a count of 4, kind of in your own mind, at your own pace. In 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. And as you go along, you can increase that just by one number. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you continue. Usually the mountain breath continues all the way up to 8, a count of 8, at which point you start coming back down again. So traditionally the mountain breath starts with a counting to 4 on your inhale and exhale, goes all the way up to 8, and then comes back down again to 4. One place where I like to use the mountain breath is when we take a little break and I feel like we've been doing a little bit of a vigorous segment of the yoga practice. And I just sit there and focus on the breath and just count and lengthen by one count with every inhale and exhale. And another place I really like to use the mountain breath is if we're in a part of the practice where my heart starts to beat a little bit faster and I notice that my breath is coming along shorter and shorter, then I try to use the mountain breath to regulate the speed at which I shorten that breath. One of the things that is so helpful about yoga and mindfulness is the breathing exercises. And sometimes I even tell my husband I'm not sure if I gain more from the poses or the breathing exercises, but that particular breath really helps me a lot all throughout my practice. And even just counting the breath without increasing or decreasing gives you a sense of focus. And sometimes I'll just do that as well while I'm going through, just counting my breaths as I go in and out of each pose, kind of to regulate the speed at which I'm moving and to make sure that I'm noticing my breath and staying with my breath as I go along. So hopefully you can find a place to use that mountain breath as we go through our practice today. Let me know in the comments. And we'll begin our practice. Before we start, I'm just going to type out my SoundCloud here in case anybody feels like listening to some music today. You can just go right to the SoundCloud where I've uploaded some yoga music, and that will go along perfectly with our practice. And let us start today's practice in child's pose. Of course, if child's pose is uncomfortable for you, you can always start in a different position on your back and just meet us in child's pose as we start going through the poses. But if you're coming into child's pose, you can have your knees together or bring some space between them. Check back, make sure your toes aren't overlapping so they don't cut off your circulation. Inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. As you breathe out, fold forward. Stretch your hands out in front of you and relax your forehead down towards the ground. Let your elbows come to rest on the mat. If you like, you can wrap your hands back towards your feet with your palms facing up. Just close your eyes here and start to listen to your breath. If you like, you can try your mountain breath here. Find a cadence and count your inhales. Just lengthening each inhale by one more count. Notice where your breath is moving inside of your body. Maybe you feel your back rising and falling with the breath. Your rib cage expanding out to the sides on each inhale. Start to find your yoga breath, the Ujjayi breath, ocean sounding breath in the back of the throat. If it's accessible to you today, you can seal your lips and just begin breathing in and out of the nose. And with the sound of your breath, fill your mind, clearing away all other thoughts and bringing your focus fully into your body, here and now, between the four corners of your mat. And bring yourself fully present. And start your body scan. From the tips of your fingers, work your awareness down through your hands, into your wrists and elbows, the shoulders, the back of the neck. Notice how your face is feeling today, your forehead, your jaw. And then work your way down your spine, to your hips, and through the legs, knees, ankles, and toes. As you go along, just make a note of anything that feels off today. Notice any sore spots, and remind yourself of any injuries you have, old or new. Anything that might affect your abilities to come into a pose today. Remember that yoga is all about meeting your body where it is in the present moment. And you're always welcome to take a break in child's pose on your back or belly, or modify any pose in a way that's right for you. Just make this practice your own. Take a few more deep, full breaths here, just being inside of your body. Come into puppy pose. Start to crawl your fingertips forward, lifting the hips up. Your hips can come right above your knees or just behind. And reach your chin or chest down towards the mat. Feel a nice gentle back bend here, stretching out the belly. On your next breath in, bring your hands back, lifting up your chest. And make your way to your hands and knees tabletop. Adjust so that your knees come right below the hips and the wrists come right below the shoulders. And then begin to move through cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly down, roll the shoulders back, bring your gaze up or forward. Exhale, pushing your spine up towards the ceiling. Relax your head and neck down and bring your gaze through your knees. Keep moving just like that at your own pace. Just let your breath be your guide. Try to lengthen your motion to match your breath. Come back to a neutral spine on a breath in. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up into downward facing dog. We're gonna flow here from down dog to tabletop, hands and knees tabletop, and then back into child's pose. With the breath, take a big breath in here in downward facing dog. Exhale, drop your knees back down to hands and knees tabletop. Take one more breath in here. And as you breathe out, push your hips back, coming back down into child's pose. Take a big inhale. And an exhale. Next time you breathe in, lift your chest up to hands and knees tabletop. Exhale into downward facing dog. And let's keep going like that. Inhale back to hands and knees tabletop. Exhale, pushing back into child's pose. Back up, hands and knees tabletop, breathing in. Exhale into downward facing dog, hips to the sky. 2 more times with the breath. Inhale, hands and knees tabletop. Exhale, pushing the hips back into child's pose. Back to hands and knees tabletop on your breath in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. One last time, just go at your own pace with the breath. Hands and knees tabletop on an inhale. Child's pose on your exhale. Back up to tabletop on your breath in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. You can move around a little bit here. Bend one knee down towards the ground at a time. Trading off, pushing the other leg back towards straight. Feel that nice stretch on the back of the legs. Check in with your shoulders. Make sure those shoulders are moving down the back towards the hips, out of the ears. Fingers are open nice and wide, gripping the mat with your hands. Hands and feet both about hip width distance apart. Head and neck just dangling down towards the ground. Lift your right foot high. Take a deep breath in. Step the foot through between the hands as you breathe out and drop your left knee down to the mat. Rise up on an inhale to low lunge. You can lift your hands directly overhead, or if you're feeling wobbly, drop your hands down to your knee to help you stabilize. And then once you feel nice and stable, you can inhale, lifting the hands up, turn the pinkies in to keep the shoulders moving down the back. Take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, twisting to the right. Left hand drops across the right knee. And the right arm is reaching back. Maybe your right arm can line up with the back leg. Maybe you're just reaching towards that direction. On your next inhale, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, drop your hands down, framing the front foot. Tuck your left toes under, left knee pops up off the mat. Bring all the way to your left hand and inhale, lifting your right hand high. Stack your shoulders, stretch your fingers up to the sky. If it's okay on the neck, you can bring your gaze up towards your upper hand. One more big breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the ground. Look forward, take a deep breath in. And on your breath out, step your left foot up to your right. Forward fold. Half lift to breathe in. Bring the torso parallel to the ground. Folding forward as you breathe out. Relax your whole upper body down. Inhale, rising up to standing. Roll the spine up one vertebrae at a time. Hands float up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch. Inhale, hands high. Release the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down towards the right. Back up to center as you breathe in. And to the left as you breathe out. Inhale, rising to center. Exhale, standing back bend. Straight back up on a breath in. Exhale, diving forward, hinge from the hips. Keeping the spine really long. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank. Drop the knees down to the mat if you like. Keep your elbows tucked really close into the rib cage. Tiger cobra on your breath in. If your legs are on the ground, keep your elbows bent. Exhale, tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up. Downward facing dog. Let's do that on the left. Left heel comes high. Deep breath in. Exhale, step your left foot through between your hands and drop your right knee down to the mat. Inhale, rising up to the lunge. You can bring your hands straight up overhead, or you can drop them down to your knee to help with the balance. One more breath in here. Exhale, twisting around to the left. Drop the right hand across the left knee and reach your left arm back. Maybe you can line it up with the back leg. Maybe you're just reaching in that direction. On your next breath in, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, release, drop your hands down, framing the front foot. Tuck your right toes under, right knee pops up off the mat. Plant your right hand right next to the left foot. And inhale, lifting your left arm high. Try to bring your arms perpendicular to the ground. Stretch the left fingers up towards the sky. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release your left hand back down to the mat. Look forward, take a big breath in. As you breathe out, step your right foot up to your left. Forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Turn your hands around so that your fingers are pointing towards the back of the mat. You can always plant your hands here on blocks on either sides of the feet. Or just plant your hands on the mat. Push your hands down. Try to bring the curve at the bottom of the palm down to the mat or on a block. And feel that nice stretch on the inside of your arms. On your next breath in, bend your knees, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch again, this time to the left first. Inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the left. Back up to center as you breathe in, and to the right as you breathe out. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, standing back bend. Back up, straight on a breath in. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips. Keeping the spine nice and long going down. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out, however you like it. Try to bring the soles of the feet parallel to the wall behind you as you lower down. Half, come up to Upward Cobra on a breath in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. One last salutation, just going with the breath, straight up and down this time. Bend your knees, lift your hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, hop or step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift as you breathe in. Forward fold as you breathe out. All the way to standing on an inhale, bending the knees, roll your spine one vertebrae at a time, hands float up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Straight back down, inhale, hands high. Exhale, fold forward, take your whole breath, going down. Half lift as you breathe in, you can bring your hands to shins or float them over the ground. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Keep your elbows right next to the rib cage as you're lowering down. Upward Cobra, breathing in, pulling the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, roll over your toes, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Lift your right foot high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands. Stay low. Bring your gaze forward. Take a deep breath in and out. On your next breath in, lift your left knee high, arms float up overhead. Exhale to warrior three. Send your left foot straight out behind you, like you're stamping it into a wall. Arms come out wide like airplane wings. Drop your gaze down to the floor. You can bend your standing knee just a little bit to help with balance here. Take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down to the ground. Try to lift your left leg even higher. The front knee is a nice deep bend in it in warrior one. Front toes are pointing straight towards the short end of the mat. The knee should be right over the ankle. And that back left foot is at about a 45-degree angle. Toes pointing off sort of towards the corner of the room. Whole foot should be all the way down on the mat, especially check that back left pinky toe edge. And coming into pyramid pose, straighten out your front knee, open out the arms, wide to the sides. Take a deep breath in here. As you breathe out, hinge forward from the hips, keeping a nice long spine. Stop when your torso comes parallel to the ground and drop your gaze down to your big toe. Imagine you feel strings pulling your arms straight out in either direction, pulling the crown of the head forward. One more deep breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down to the ground. You can find your blocks here under your hands if you like, at any height, or just plant your hands on the mat on either side of your foot and relax your head and neck down over your front knee. Your front knee in pyramid pose is traditionally straight. If that's not accessible to you, doesn't feel right to have a straight knee there, that's okay. You can have a little bend in that knee, and you can also play with the bend. Really slow, gentle, little movements here. Bending and straightening. Just notice where you feel that stretch as you push your knee back towards straight. Coming into revolve, triangle pose, plant your left hand on the mat or on a block right next to the right foot. All the way comes to the left hand. Inhale, lifting your right arm high, opening up the chest toward the side. Try to stack the shoulders and bring your arms perpendicular to the floor. If they're not perfectly perpendicular, that's okay. Just reaching in that direction. Come as close as you comfortably can. Find your edge. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the ground. Bend your right knee, rise back up to warrior one on a breath in. And open out to warrior two. As you breathe out, pivot your back foot around, bringing your feet perpendicular to each other. Check on the back hand, making sure that back hand is nice and high. And bring the gaze right over your front middle finger. Let's do our yoga jumping jacks. Inhale, straighten out the front knee, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, sinking back down slowly, make your way back to warrior two. 4 more. Just go with your breath. Moving at your own pace. 3. I'm just counting so you know where I am. 2. And last one. Inhale, coming to reverse warrior. Right arm comes arcing overhead. Left hand can stretch back down the back leg, or you can wrap your left hand back behind you, reaching towards the right hip. It's almost like a side bend here, bending towards the left. Maybe you feel a nice stretch on the right side of your body. If it's okay on your neck, you can bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. One more breath in here. Exhale, coming to extended side angle. Drop your right elbow down to the right knee and reach your left hand overhead. Imagine you're making a nice straight line, stretching from your left middle finger all the way through the left heel. It's not going to be perfectly straight because you've got lots of curves in the armpit, your hip, right above the hip. Just make it as straight as you can. Let's do those 2 poses 3 more times with the breath. Inhale, rising up to reverse warrior. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to extended side angle. 2, just going with your breath at your own speed. And last one. Inhale, coming back up to warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Send your right heel high as you breathe in. Double dip chaturanga. Breathing out, you can keep that foot up or drop it down. Tiger cobra as you breathe in, come onto the tops of the feet. Exhale, roll over your toes, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Let's take a short break before we do the other side. Make your way to child's pose. You're always welcome to take a break in any other position as well. Relax your forehead down, close your eyes. Here's a chance to use that mountain breath, lengthening each breath. Find a cadence and just add 1 number every time you inhale and exhale. If you've wrapped your hands back towards your feet, bring the hands back out in front of you. On a breath in, lift your chest up to hands and knees tabletop. Exhale into downward facing dog. And let's do that warrior sequence on the left. Lift your left leg high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands. Stay low, bring your gaze forward, take a deep breath in and out. On your next inhale, lift your right knee high, arms float up overhead. Exhale, warrior three, right foot goes straight out behind you like you're stamping it into a wall. Everything else comes parallel to the ground besides the standing leg. You can bend that standing leg just a little bit. Arms are out wide like airplane wings, gaze right down at the floor. Take one more big breath in here. As you breathe out, drop your hands down to the mat, lift your right foot even higher. And then step your right foot down on the mat behind you at a 45-degree angle and rise up on an inhale to warrior one. Hands come up overhead, turn the pinkies in to keep the eye to the sides. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, hinging from the hips, folding forward nice and slow, keeping a nice long spine. Stop when your torso comes parallel to the ground and drop the gaze to the big toe. Feel your arms stretching straight out in either direction, crown of the head stretching forward, lengthening the spine. One more breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down to the ground. You can just plant your hands on the mat on either side of your foot. Or if you have blocks, find your blocks underneath your hands here. At any height is fine, whatever's right for you. Relax your head and neck down over your front leg. And notice how your front knee is feeling. Maybe that front knee is perfectly straight. Maybe that's not quite accessible to you and you have a bend in the knee. You can just gently bend and straighten, exploring the range of motion of the front leg. Coming into revolve triangle. Right hand comes right next to the left foot on the mat or on the block. All weight comes to the right hand. Inhale, lifting your left arm high. Opening up the chest toward the side. Stretch your left fingers up to the sky. One last big breath in here. As you breathe out, release your left hand back down to the ground. Bend your left knee. Rise back up to warrior one, breathing in. Open out, warrior two. As you breathe out, stretch your hands straight out in either direction. Peek on the back hand and make sure it's nice and high. Sometimes the back hand likes to droop down when you're not looking. Check on your feet. Feet are perpendicular to each other. Front heels intersecting the back heel or the back arch. And then bring your gaze. Inhale, knees straight, arms up overhead. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior two. 4 more, just go with your breath. Let your breath be your guide. 3, just stretch out your motion. Taking the whole breath to complete each motion. 2. And last one. Inhale, coming to reverse warrior. Right hand can stretch back down the back leg or wrap back behind you, reaching towards the left hip. Left arm comes arcing overhead. If it's okay on your neck, you can bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. Or if it feels better, you can also keep your gaze down towards the floor. One more big breath in here. Exhale to extended side angle. Left elbow drops down to the left knee, and the right arm reaches overhead. Nice and straight this time. Imagine a single line of energy stretching from the right middle finger all the way through the right heel. And let's do those two poses 3 more times with your breath. Inhale, rising up, reverse warrior. Exhale, sinking back down to extended side angle. 2. And last one. Inhale, coming back up to warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, framing the front foot. Send your left heel high to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Keep your foot up or drop it down. Dogger, cobra, drop the foot down. Big breath in. Exhale, rolling over your toes. Come into downward facing dog. Again, let's take a little break here. Make your way down to child's pose or any other comfortable resting position. Close your eyes. Reconnect with the breath. Listen to your breath. You can count your breaths. Maybe this time you just want to feel the breath, noticing where the breath is going. Feel your body moving with each inhale and exhale. Notice where that movement is in your belly, in your shoulders, in your back. If your hands are wrapped back towards your feet, bring them back out in front of you and come into puppy pose. Crawl fingers forward. Reach your chin or chest down towards the mat. They don't need to touch. Just reaching in that direction. Lift the hips up. Feel a nice, gentle back bend here. On your next breath in, bring your hands back, lifting up your chest, coming to hands and knees, tabletop. Exhale to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Lift your right leg high, take a big breath in. Exhale, stepping the foot through between the hands, stay low. Gaze comes forward, big breath in and out. On your next inhale, lift your left knee high, arms float up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center and cross your left ankle over your right knee, making a figure four with your legs, and then start to sit low in your chair. If you ever feel super wobbly here, you can always drop that left leg down to the mat and just take a straight chair pose. See how low you can go comfortably. Maybe you can drop your forearms down to your upper left leg. Maybe you're feeling stable enough to reach for your standing right ankle. Drop your gaze down to the floor. It always helps with the balance. And release. Bring your fingertips down to the ground and let your left leg slide down your right. Coming into a forward fold. Left foot crossed in front of right. Relax your head and neck down here. If you have blocks, you can always use your blocks under your hands here. I have a lot of students who like to use their blocks in this pose right underneath their hands. Or just keep your hands on the ground. Start to crawl your fingertips over to the left. Hips can lean a bit to the right. Head and neck are really relaxed here. And now curl your fingertips all the way over to the right. Hips lean a bit to the left. And walk your hands back to center. Lift your right foot up and set it back down in its normal spot next to your left foot. Take a half lift as you breathe in. Folding forward as you breathe out, making your way into ragdoll pose. Bring your fingertips to the mat. Weight comes to the fingertips to heel till your feet out wide. And then grab for opposite elbows. You can bend one knee and then the other. Feel your spine, water falling down towards the ground. Head and neck are just dangling down. Up, plant your hands, hop or step your feet back. Lower down halfway, don't go below your elbows. Inhale, back up again. Exhale, lowering down, low plank. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do that on the left. Left heel comes high, big breath in. Step foot through between the hands as you breathe out. Stay low, bring your gaze forward. Take a deep breath in and out. And on your next inhale, lift your right knee high, arms float up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Press your right ankle over your left knee, making a figure four, and sit low in your chair. Again, if you're feeling super wobbly here, you can always drop that right foot down and take a straight chair pose. Maybe you can bring your arms down to your upper leg. And maybe you can even grab the standing ankle, drop your gaze down to the floor to help with balance. And then release, let your fingertips come down to the floor. Right leg slides down so that you don't feel like your weight is pulling you down into the fold more than you want to go. And then start to crawl your fingertips over to the right. Hips can lean a bit to the left. Relax your head and neck down. It's okay if one of your heels wants to pop up off the ground. Your knees can be bent here. And then walk your hands all the way over to the left. Hips lean a bit to the right. Walk your hands back to center. Lift your left foot up and set it back down in its normal spot next to the right foot. Take a half lift as you breathe in. Fold forward as you breathe out. Weight comes to your fingers to heel till the feet out wide. Coming back into ragdoll. Grab for opposite elbows and cross your arms the opposite way, the upward way. Gently swaying side to side, bending one knee and then the other. Imagine you feel all the kinks flowing right out of your spine through the top of your head into the ground. Release your hands down to the mat. Weight comes to the fingers to heel till your feet back together again. Big toes touching, little space between the heels. Bend your knees. Inhale, rising all the way up to standing. Stack the vertebrae one at a time. Float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Let's do our modified hand to foot pose, a little balancing challenge here. If you are feeling a bit wobbly today, you can always float your hand on a ball or find a piece of furniture to grab onto. I'm going to mirror you here, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Lift your right leg up and interlace your fingers outside of the knee. If this already feels like a challenge, you can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, bring your left hand to your hip and start to open out the right knee towards the right. You can also bring that left hand up to help with the counterbalance. And if you're feeling super flexible in that right leg, maybe you can extend it all the way. Grab for the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Open out the right foot towards the right, straightening out that leg. You definitely want to bring that left arm up for a counterbalance here. Take one last deep breath in and release down to the mat. Shake it out. Let's try the other side. All the weight comes to the right foot. Lift your left knee up and then interlace your fingers outside of the left knee. That might be enough. You might just want to stay right here. Even if you went farther, deeper on the other side, our sides are not symmetrical, so maybe this is just where you want to stay on this side. If you want to come a little bit deeper, open out the left knee towards the left, bringing the right hand to the hip, or bringing your right hand out to the side. And if you're feeling pretty flexible in that left leg, you can reach for the pinky toe edge, straighten out the leg. Definitely want to raise that right arm up to help with balance. Take one last deep breath in here. And release. Shake it all out. Going back down again. Inhale your hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips. Nice and slow going down. Half lift as you breathe in. Exhale, double dip chaturanga. Plant your hands, hopper step your feet back. Lower down halfway, elbows tucked in, back up, breathing in. Exhale, halfway down again. Up dog or cobra on a breath in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Come back into your high plank, upper push-up, and drop your elbows down to the mat. We're going to come into a forearm plank here, forearm side plank. Bring your left hand out at an angle in front of you, and roll onto the pinky toe edge of the left foot. You can stack your feet, stagger them, right foot in front of left, or you can drop your right foot down on the mat in front of you. Lift your right arm up, stretching your fingers up towards the sky. Push your hips up. If it's okay on your neck, you can bring your gaze up towards the upper hand. One more deep breath in here. Release as you breathe out and switch sides. Right arm comes out at an angle in front of you. Roll onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Stagger the feet, left foot in front of right. Stack them with your left foot on top. Or drop the left foot down on the mat in front of you. And then lift your left arm up to the sky, bringing the gaze up towards the upper hand if it's okay on the neck. One more big breath in here. And release. Come all the way down onto your belly. Taking a little rest. You can stack your hands and rest your forehead on the stacked hands. Or you can rest on a cheek and wrap your hands back behind towards your hips, palms facing up. Whichever one is more comfortable. Close your eyes and reconnect with your breath. Coming into locust pose, bring your chin to the mat. Hands come behind you. Interlace your fingers behind your back. On a breath in, push down, bring your hands to peel the chest up off the mat. And if it's okay on your back, you can lift your feet up as well. Keep your gaze really low on the ground in front of you to protect your neck. One more big breath in, lifting even higher. And exhale, release. If your head was turned to one side, turn it to the other side, or you can stack your hands again and rest your forehead. Close your eyes, focusing on the breath. Bring your chin back to the mat. Hands come right underneath the shoulders. 3 cobras here. Inhale, lift your chest up. Keep your elbows bent. Exhale, slowly lowering back down to the mat. 2 more times. Go with the breath. Inhaling to lift. Exhale, lowering down. Take your whole breath to complete the motion. Last one. And make your way to a seat. Push your chest up. Roll over the legs or swing them around to the sides. Coming into Baddha Konasana, bound ankle pose. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let your knees open out wide to the sides. Interlace your fingers. You can tuck them underneath the toes or around the fronts of the toes. Push down on your knees. Don't worry about how far you get down, even if your legs are up, as long as you're feeling that stretch. That's all that's important. Lift up on the spine. Feel the crown of the head stretching up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, folding forward, keeping the spine really long. Open out your elbows and push your knees down with your elbows, and then relax your forehead down, rounding out through the back. Let's you find your edge. You can keep your hands on your feet here, or you can release your hands and crawl your fingertips forward if you like. On your next breath in, lift your chest up. Bring your knees together and bring your hands behind you. Fingers pointing towards the hips, and then gently windshield wiper the knees side to side to release your hips. And then come onto your back. Starting with a supine pigeon pose here. Feet are planted on the ground, knees pointing up towards the sky. Lift your right foot up and cross your right ankle over your left knee. With your right hand, you can push the right knee away, or you can reach your right hand in between the legs. Left hand comes around the outside. Interlace your fingers and pull the legs in towards your chest. Try to push your tailbone back down flat on the mat so that you've got opposite forces working on the hips. Flex the toes to protect your knee. Release and switch sides. Left ankle crosses over the right knee. Left hand can push the left knee away or reach in between the legs. Right arm comes around the outside. Interlace your fingers and pull the knees in towards the chest. You can have your hands outside of on the front of the right leg. You can also tuck them inside the crease of the right knee if that feels better. Push your tailbone down flat on the mat. Flex your toes. Feel that nice stretch in your hips. And release. Hug both knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lifting your forehead up to your knees, curl into a tight little ball, squeeze everything together. Release your head back down to the mat. Find your kneecaps with your hands and do some circles with the knees, giving your lower back a little massage on the ground. And find circles going the other way. Supine twist. Open out your arms wide in a T. Float your legs in a tabletop, 90 degrees in the knees and hips. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, dropping your knees down together to the right, all the way to the floor. Trying to keep that 90-degree angle in the knees and hips. The right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the left knee to help the legs stay down. And then bring your gaze over to your left hand to complete your twist. Release your right hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. And you can tuck inside the crease of the right knee to help the legs stay down. And bring the gaze over to the right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. One last time, draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale, squeezing into a tight little ball. Lift your forehead up to your knees. And then release to Shavasana. You can take any comfortable laying down position you like. Get nice and comfy. Lift your heart up and pull the shoulder blades down the back. Bring your chin into your chest and rock your head side to side, just letting your head fall back to its natural center point. And close your eyes. Release your body. If it's helpful here, you can do another body scan, just checking for any tension. And if you find it, imagine it melting out of you. Let yourself sink into the ground, feel the earth supporting you. Release your breath. Make your way back to your natural breathing. And release your mind. Just watch your thoughts come and go, like clouds in the sky on a windy day. Find a few moments of stillness to complete your practice today. Leave your eyes open and make your way back up to a seat. Thank you so much for joining me today for yoga. Namaste.